Lesson 10 for August 31 through to September 6, Living the Gospel, read by Dr. Percy Harold. Thursday, September 5, The Everlasting Gospel. The transforming invitation and appeal of the gospel to every nation, tribe, language, and people in Revelation 14 verse 6 has continued throughout Christian history. However, Revelation describes a renewed proclamation of this message, the good news about Jesus and all that entails at the end of time. Question, read Revelation chapter 14, verses 6 and 7. How is the common understanding of the gospel, most commonly summarized in John 3:16, included in the angel's specific message in verse 7? Revelation 14, beginning at verse 6. Then I saw another angel flying in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel, to preach to those who dwell on the earth, to every nation, tribe, tongue, and people, saying with a loud voice, Fear God, and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment has come, and worship him who made heaven and earth, the sea, and the springs of water. Revelation 14:7 brings together three key elements we have already noted in this study of God's concern about evil, poverty, and oppression throughout the Bible story. 1. Judgment. The appeal for judgment, for justice to be done, has been a repeated call of those who have been oppressed throughout history. Fortunately, the Bible portrays God as one who hears the cries of those in distress. As often expressed in the Psalms, for example, those who are being treated unfairly regard judgment as good news. 2. Worship. The writings of the Hebrew prophets often link the subjects of worship and good deeds, particularly when comparing the worship of those who claim to be God's people with the wrongs that they committed and continued. In Isaiah 58, for example, God explicitly stated that the worship he most desired was acts of kindness and care for the poor and needy. Isaiah 58, verses 6 and 7. Is this not the fast that I have chosen, to loose the bonds of wickedness, to undo the heavy burdens, to let the oppressed go free, and that you break every yoke? Is it not to share your bread with the hungry, and that you bring to your house the poor who are cast out? When you see the naked, that you cover him, and not hide yourself from your own flesh. 3. Creation. As we have seen, one of the foundational elements of God's call for justice is the common family of humanity, that we are all created in his image and loved by him, that we all have value in his sight, and that no one should be exploited or oppressed for the unjust gain and greed of another. It seems clear that this end-time proclamation of the gospel is a broad and far-reaching call to accept the rescue, redemption, and restoration that God wants for fallen humanity. Hence, even amid the issues regarding true and false worship and persecution, as we see in Revelation 14:8-12, God will have a people who will stand for what is right, for the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus, even amid the worst of evil. Revelation 14, beginning at verse 8. And another angel followed, saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she has made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Then a third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If anyone worships the beast in his image, and receives his mark on his forehead or on his hand, he himself shall also drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out full strength into the cup of his indignation. He shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascends for ever and ever. And they have no rest day or night, who worship the beast and his image, and whoever receives the mark of his name. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are those who keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. So to finish today, how can we find ways of ministering to those in need, while at the same time sharing with them both the hope and the warning that are found in the three angels' messages? You have been listening to a reading of the Adult Sabbath School Bible Study Guide by Dr. Percy Harold from Queensland, Australia. This service is brought to you by Hope Channel, the Sabbath School Department, and Christian Services for the Blind. Remember, God is always faithful.